many ages connected to great world cultures, the British cultures and Russian cultures, and this connection has a long and very deep history. I may talk about the theater connections, connections in music, fine arts, and the different area of culture. People my age memory about the very famous tour of the Bolshoi Theatre in the middle of 50s in Great Britain, when the Western world reopened the high arts of the big belly. And the last more than 60 years, the connection between our countries in the culture fields very deep. We may talk about the connection in the theatre, because the first tour of the Royal Shakespeare Company in Russia, Soviet Union, was in the 1955, and this was a great demonstration of the real highest level of the British theatre in the world. But at the same time, in the 1955, in Russia came the very young director with the Russian ethnic roots, Peter Brook, because his family came to Britain from the Russian Empire in the beginning of 20th century. I may talk a lot about our connection in the past, but I think it will be reasonable to talk about our connection in the future, because 2013 is a memory date, anniversary of the Romanov dynasty family, a Romanov family who has a lot and deep connections with the monarchs in the whole Europe and in the Britain especially. And I hope that in 2013 we will have a different varieties exhibition, seminars about this connection between dynasty house, between dynasty house of Romanov and dynasty house of the Great Britain. 2014, another dates of our joint culture history, this 100th anniversary of the beginning of the First World War. And First World War is a great tragedy maybe in the history of the human being, but at the same time this great events has a lot of reflections in the world cultures, and especially in literature, and this war keep a lot of the memorial facts, and I hope we will have a joint exhibition and joint seminars about the reflections of the First World War history in the Russian and British culture. At the same time, 2014 is a 450th anniversary of date of the born of the Shakespeare, and the whole world, not just in Britain and in Russia, but everywhere, these dates will be has a special anniversary events. I hope, together with our colleagues from the Great Britain, with the British Council, Minister of Culture of Great Britain, we prepare the special culture season, crossing culture seasons between our countries, a Russian season in Great Britain and British season in Russia. This will be a joint production, theater production, movie production, different concerts, exhibition, and a lot of different varieties events who present this very deep connection between two famous world culture. And if we will see to the next year, 2015, we understand this will be a 70-year anniversary of the end of the Second World War. And of course, these dates in the history of our nations, our countries and whole world is very important. And again, I hope we find the way how we describes this very important date in history of the both countries in the different cultural events. I talked with the people, with my colleague in France, and it appears that we born one very interesting idea, make the youth symphony orchestra of European countries. And of course, I hope if the young people from the whole Europe, and especially from the Great Britain and Russia, will be played together, this will be a good symbol and good sign for our politicians and for our nations. I hope the relation between two great countries, Great Britain and Russia, in the culture field will be developed. Of course, political and economical relations has a up and down period, but I hope in culture we will become just too up, because this interests of our nations and our country. Thank you.